Star 102.5, Moore County, the Sandhills' best mix of the 80s, the 90s, and today. And while we keep it live and local is the theme right now because we've had, 3 U.S. Opens, 4 women's. We had a senior open, a couple of amateurs, a women's am, had a Wapple back at Legacy many years ago. So we've got, somewhere between a dozen and 15 national championships, and we're going to add to that next July. And Greg Sanfilippo is on the phone. He is with the USGA. And Greg, you have to be excited to be coming to Pinehurst. We'll certainly be excited to receive you and quite a big field next July.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. That's a long list of national championships. And we're really looking forward to the opportunity to bring the United States Junior Amateur Championship there to the Country Club in North Carolina. Well, you'll have about 264 players, which will be the first time the junior is conducted with an expanded field there at the Country Club in North Carolina. So both the Dogwood Golf Course and the Cardinal Golf Course will be put to the test, if you will, by the players, ultimately to hopefully to find the deserving champion, which obviously that will happen through the conduct and the qualifying sections of the typical U.S. Junior Amateur Championship. So we're really excited, and thank you to the members at the Country Club in North Carolina for hosting us. Look, there's a lot of competitions, particularly in junior golf in North Carolina and South Carolina, some probably over 300, right, from 14 different organizations. So big thanks to everybody for their support of the game, but we're really excited to be bringing the junior championship to the North Carolina area and to the Pinehurst area, as well as the Country Club in North Carolina.
Yeah, CCNC very excited about this, and their club president, Tom Beto, we went out and played, about 10 days ago out at the Cardinal. And
perfect.
Yeah, it was just fantastic. And I'm just thinking, the junior amateur, Tiger Woods won that 3 years in a row. I think Jordan Spieth has a couple of them. David Duval and Johnny Miller. That's fantastic. And on that course in 1980, Hal Sutton grabbed the U.S. Amateur. So a lot of history
That's
there.
Right.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
You mentioned a couple past champions, and we talked about Miller, Duval, and you mentioned Hunter Mahan. But let's not forget about some of the more recent ones, right? Will Zalatoris, Scotty Scheffler, Noah Goodwin, Michael Thorbjornsen, who recently just made the cut at the U.S. Open in 2019.
Awesome.
And then, of course, Preston Summerhays, who just won at Inverness Club in 2019.
Wow. Yeah, that is great. Now, what do we need in the way of volunteers? How do people spectate? Will there be TV time? How is this going to work next year?
For the last question, TV, we'd love to have it, but that decision hasn't been made for 2021 USGA championships as a whole yet. Volunteers, typically for the junior amateur, we're looking between 300 to 450 volunteers, depending on its structure. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, the club's got a really good handle on a lot of these things. But I look at Don Hunter, who's their GM, Jeff Dotson, who's their director of golf, and Ron Kelly, who's their director of grounds. And then, of course, we have 2 great member leaders, Robbie Bennett and Mark Reineman, who are chairing and actually going through all of those operations plans now. And as it relates to spectating, we've never charged for spectating at our junior amateur championships, at a lot of our championships, excluding the AM. So spectating's free, and this is a time and an opportunity for anyone who hasn't seen the Country Club in North Carolina to come in and see it, as well as some of the greatest junior golfers in the world.
You are right, and we are very happy to have a CCNC resident, as well as a U.S. Open winner, Webb Simpson, be the honorary chair for this event. Is that right?
Yeah, that's cool. That's going to be really neat for the players, and what Webb will bring and what the club has done to embrace him. He's just been a really good champion and really good member to the club, and we're really looking forward to bringing him and getting him more involved as we get closer to the championship.
Yeah, that's terrific. Where do we get more information if someone's in the car and says, boy, I'd like to Google that when I get home?
Yes, USGA.org under championship section. There's a sub-championship section where you can find the Junior Amateur Championship, as well as information on Country Club of North Carolina's website as well.
Fantastic. It's going to be another national championship. Don't take it for granted. A lot of people will go their entire life without seeing one national championship. You get a chance to go and see this one, so don't let it go by. Greg, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you for taking the time to fill us in on some of the details today.
Yeah, absolutely, Rich. Thank you so much for having me.
When everything is changing, you need a store that's a constant. A store that has the brands your family loves and the value that you need. A store where you can stock up, pick up, and drive up. A store that's close to home and feels like home. A store that puts the health and safety of you and your family above all else. And a store that's always here to help. At Kohl's, we don't know what next year will look